Hello, it is Topical Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018. Steve Sipress here as the sun sets behind me on an uncharacteristically cloudy and rainy day here in usually sunny Arizona. You can see those storm clouds behind me. It's been lightning and rain off and on throughout the day, but kind of a cool looking sky there, is it not? And the sun setting over the mountains behind me. And so, Topical Tuesday, I got to look at what's going on in the news, and everywhere you look, everyone is talking about and showing things on TV all about this, quote, caravan. Doesn't look like much of a caravan. It just looks like a whole group of people walking or hopping on trucks or whatever, headed like thousands of miles or something, all through all kinds of countries, coming to the U.S. under the guise of supposedly they're looking to avoid persecution or something, danger in their country. But of course everyone knows that's BS, because there's lots of other there's countries nearer by, there's other places they could go than a thousands of miles, a weeks long of a crazy trek, and while they they're ignoring all the laws of the countries they go through, and yet those countries, like they're in Mexico now from what I see, and nobody's getting arrested in Mexico for violating their immigration laws or whatever. Of course, in the U.S., our laws are so messed up that it's like not having any, right? Because from what I can surmise from the various news stations, there's these loopholes where our laws are outdated, or like people come in and they're questioned and then they're told to come back for a court date to see if they will receive emergency admittance into the country because of how in danger they are or whatever. They get a court date, and who the heck's gonna show up for that court date? All you got to do is go and live your life, go to work. I mean, supposedly on one hand you got one side touting how great the economy is and how low unemployment is and all these available jobs, and then on the other side you got them, they're so anti-Trump or deranged that they say, oh, U.S. is not great, never was great. Like, well, which is it? Because if it's not so great, why are people coming here like crazy? Why are they risking their life? Why are they taking weeks of walking? Oh, and we see some lightning there in the background, making the background of the video a little more interesting. How cool. Also clouds over the mountains over on this side. So all around we have these storm clouds raging. And that must mean there's rain going on over there in the west. So anyway, all I could think of was, that's how a lot of businesses operate. Because make no mistake, I mean, these are not people coming because they're forlorn and escaping anything, if they were, and they're certainly not coming to the U.S. because they love the U.S. and they're looking for a better life and they are looking to become a part of America. Otherwise, they'd be waving American flags. All I see is they're waving flags of whatever country they're coming from. So make no mistake, it's an invasion. And we have our do-nothing Congress for the last however many decades, and our terrible immigration laws to blame for the fact that people are going to just come in anytime they want. In fact, they like to get arrested. They don't mind it at all, because then they just get sent off to come back for your court date, and they're off and running. And then I think, if they do become a citizen, then don't they get to invite all their friends and family and neighbors or extended family or whatever? I mean, it's a whole bonanza for people coming to the U.S. Now, I'm all in favor of people coming to the U.S. My grandparents did, and I have lots of friends, and I know lots of very successful entrepreneurs from current first generation, second, third generation that came to the U.S. with nothing in their pocket, but they had a willingness to work, and more importantly, they were looking to take advantage of opportunity, which is unlike many people born in the U.S. who have a slave mentality. We're not looking for opportunity, they're just looking to work for one of us, one of the 13% of Americans who own the businesses that employ the 87% of Americans that aren't opportunity-minded. They just want a job, and they just want to work and pay the bills and then drink beer on the weekends or do whatever they do. So I have found in my experience, anecdotally, I haven't done some kind of scientific study on it, that people coming from other countries understand that this is the land of opportunity, and they come, even if they start, which they usually have to do, start working really crappy jobs. Their goal is always to move up and to own a business, own either that business or another business. So if they start in the kitchen, they want to own that restaurant. If they start pumping gas, they want to own the gas station and so forth. So I love it. So I'm very much in favor of it. So I hope that somehow our Do-Nothing Congress gets its act together and creates some laws that that will serve these people coming in, and they will no longer have to invade the country as this caravan is doing. But it makes me think about business. And so oftentimes people running a business say silly things like, when I ask who's your ideal client or customer, patient or member, they rarely ask. Their mind just can't go there unless they've been a client of mine, or at least even watch these videos for a while, or somebody else that has their head on straight. Because usually the response to, hey, describe your ideal client, who would you ideally love to have to do business with? And they will almost always default to, well, usually this, and they go describing their current client that they have, which they're very often not happy with. And I'm like, I have to interrupt. I'm like, that wasn't the question. The question was, ideally, who would you like? And so in your business, it behooves you to answer that question, to think about, and not just think about, but really do some research and write it down and describe in as great detail as you can, your ideal customer, client, patient, member. That's the first W of the WOW strategy. The who. Who, ideally, would you like to do business with you? You got to know who they are before you can even start to attract them. But once you do know who they are and you pay attention to what their deepest desires are and what they really need, if it's something you can offer, there's nothing to it to attract them. I mean, isn't it pretty obvious? Like, they have a problem they really, truly, deeply want to solve, and you have the solution. You don't have to be a genius to attract that client, customer, member, patient to you. And yet 90% probably 99% of businesses never go through that exercise. Not only do they not think about the ideal target client they want to attract, and if they do, it's nowhere in any kind of detail. It's superficial demographic things like, well, 25 to 65-year-old women, or, maybe a little geographics thrown in for local businesses. It's a married couple, 40 and up, within 5 miles of my, whoa, let's get to like what they're all about. What's their fears and their pains and their desires? How could you really help them? What they really want? Otherwise, you run the risk of having a caravan of invaders coming to your business, and you take anyone that comes along. And that's what's about to happen here, I guess, in the U.S., or else what I hear, there's some kind of, Trump has got to, thump his chest, and there's going to be some kind of showdown and whatever. But I think as the laws are, from what I can see, the laws are that, they get to at least come into the U.S. and ask to be accepted in, and once they are, they're in. And it's all over. Especially pregnant women that come in, as soon as they have a baby, the baby's a U.S. citizen, for crying out loud. So, the laws are all messed up. What are the laws of your business? Do you have any? Do you just accept any customer, client, patient, member that comes along? Do you not even have a plan to attract the ideal ones you want to work with? I understand. I talk about it a lot. There are ups and downs for entrepreneurs, and there are times when tough times, you need some cash flow, you will accept anyone that comes along. But if that's your general business strategy forever, you got some problems in your business. So I understand from time to time, and especially when you're first getting started, maybe you would accept the caravan. It's kind of like when the U.S. had 3,000 miles of empty land, and Tovey Mercer's here. Great seeing you. Boy, why is it not showing me a list of who's here as usual? Tovey says, this is why I advertise to homeowners, not renters. Of course, right. You have a business, and if you're going to flyer an entire area or do the every door direct mail, and a lot of that area, or you're going to advertise in an area, and a lot of it is renters, which of course cannot do business with you. You need to do business with homeowners. And this is why direct mail is, of course, always has been and still is, the very best bang for your buck. You can send your mail pieces to exactly who you want to target, and you want to talk right to them. And Toby says, solving plumbing issues, knowing your target, yeah, that's the well strategy. And however, without it, you run the risk of what's happening here, what a lot of businesses do, is they get invaded by a horde of people they really know nothing about, and it ends up a lot of them are clients that are problem clients, and they're always, trying to talk them down on price, not appreciating the quality of work, not referring anyone useful. Like refers like, so they'll refer more problem crappy clients, and that's kind of what this whole chain migration will be. You bring in the dregs of somebody else's society, and they start chain migrating. Who do you think they're attracting and inviting in to come in? You think the dregs of society, unemployed manual laborer for some other war-torn country that comes in, is going to say, now let me invite in all the doctors and lawyers and inventors and entrepreneurs in my town? Like, not likely. So I look at this caravan, quote, invasion coming in, and I just think about a lot of businesses. And you allow that in your business if you don't do otherwise. If you don't set up a program, just like the U.S. does not have a working immigration system. So anybody at all, doesn't even have a border, really. I mean, I've seen it because of this whole Trump build the wall thing we've seen for, 3 years now? My goodness. I see a lot of images of, like, broken down fencing with holes in it, or like a 2-inch high wooden something or other. Like, I'm not in favor of almost anything, Trump's, lunatic about, including this building a wall. However, it almost has me convinced, seeing the disgustingly embarrassing fencing that we have. Like, that's not embarrassing to Americans? Like, clean that up, build a wall, get rid of the corrugated, iron, rusted crap that's 6 feet high, or the barbed wire that's 3 feet high, and yeah, put an actual barrier, and then actually, of course, it'll save a lot of lives. I'm sure it won't stop professional drug traffickers and even professional criminals that want to get deported and come back 15 times. They'll find a way to get in the back of a truck, or through a tunnel, or on a boat, or on a plane, or go around to Canada and come in, or whatever. But it would certainly stop, people from climbing over the wall and then they find them dead in the desert. It would save a lot of money of policing the thing, and having all these human beings having to police the wall when the border, when they can't even do anything about it anyway. They apprehend the 10 people coming over the border, and all they do is say, yeah, please arrest me and now release me into the U.S., and I made it. So the whole thing is ridiculous. But again, point of today's video is it reminds me of a lot of business owners and how you operate. You take one come all, and you get what you deserve, instead of, as Trump puts it, the extreme vetting. So are you doing it? Do you accept only the ideal clients, patients, customers, members, whatever it is that you want to work with? Otherwise, you're susceptible to getting invaded by an army of crappy customers. And not, by the way, I don't think that, what do they say, 5 or 10 or 15,000 people and growing in this caravan, obviously, even if 95% of them are spectacular, fantastic people, that's like 500 or 1,000 undesirables. I mean, that's a 95% are fantastic. Same in your business. If you just have a one, come all, and maybe if you're lucky, 95% of your clients are fantastic, that leaves 5% that are trouble. Why the hell do you even want to accept 5% of complete troublemaking customers, clients, members, patients into your business? That's what you're doing when you fail to have a plan, just like the U.S. fails to have a working immigration system. And that's it for Topical Tuesday. Kathy's here, Michael is here, and it's not showing me a whole bunch of other people as it usually does on the list. And I'm messing around, I can't even figure out how to see it. But thanks for everyone being here. Thanks for all the likes or watching on the replay. That'll do it as the sun sets in the west, as they say. And the storm seems to be about to continue to rage overhead. Not a big deal. But I did get a flash flood warning that it popped up on my phone as I picked it up to record this video. I saw there was some flash flood warning, which does tell you big downpour is coming. Anyway, that'll do it for today. I'll be back tomorrow on Wisdom Wednesday to share a tip to help you build your business. Hope you'll join me then. Thanks for being here today. Thanks, Toby, for the participation, and congratulations on not just accepting the come one, come all, or wait, even worse, like you said, wasting time or money trying to attract the wrong people. That's totally absurd. And that'll do it for today. Thanks, everyone, being here today. Catch you tomorrow. Over and out. Bye-bye.